Gran Canaria is the second most popular tourist destination in the Canaries, with some 3.5 million visitors per year. Most of them come to enjoy the excellent golden beaches and good quality accommodation in the southern resorts. However, the island also has an extremely interesting and diverse landscape, with dramatic coastlines in the northwest, high peaks and wide fertile valleys in the interior, and lush green terrain in the north. These regions are also dotted with numerous attractive towns and villages, as well as the historic capital of Las Palmas. Part 1 looked at all the main tourist areas. In this part 2, we will explore 20 places that are worth visiting on this beautiful island. Most of the impressive sites are in the north and centre of the island. However, some of them can be easily reached from the southern resorts, where most people tend to stay. With a hire car, it's easy to do, say, a half-day tour from Las Palmas via the interior and end up in Aguim, a historic town not too far away. We start with the famous Las Palmas dunes. From Las Palmas, we take the GC60 into the interior to our first stop, the astronomical lookout, which offers tremendous views of the huge Barranco de Fataga. The road then takes us along lush green sections of the Barranco before reaching the pretty village of Fataga, where one can escape from the busy southern resorts. From Fataga we drive into the interior via San Bartolom and the Barranco de Vacas to Aguim. Aguim has a lovely historic quarter dating from the 16th century. The highlight is the San Sebastian Church, a noted example of Canarian neoclassical architecture. Aguim is around half an hour from Las Palmas. As another half-day tour, one could go west and visit the colourful town of Puerto Morgan and the exquisite Amadores Beach, which is arguably the best on the island. Puerto Morgan has a picturesque marina and many flower-lined alleyways and small streets, dotted with cafes and restaurants. There is also a waterway with a few bridges, plus a small beach. Unsurprisingly, it's the most popular day tripper destination in the south. Let us now head north where there are numerous interesting places. Many of these can be visited as a day trip from the south. We start with the attractive low-key Aguiete area, which includes the towns of Aguiete and Puerto de las Nieves and the Aguiete Valley. Because of the distance, it's best to stay in the area and use it as a base to explore the north. Aguiete is an authentic little town with some shops, restaurants, cultural interests and a small botanical garden. The nearby cultivated Aguiete Valley is great for hiking and has some lovely villages with a number of vineyards which can be visited. There is a mirador at the end of the valley which affords great views. Puerto Nieves houses the Fred Olsen ferry terminal and has a variety of reasonable restaurants, cafes, bars and basic accommodation. There are also several natural seawater pools, but the beaches here, however, are poor compared to the south. From Aguiete we can head south along the rugged coastal road to near Aldea, where there is a scenic glass-bottom viewpoint overlooking the cliffs. Going back to Aguiete along the main road, we get to Galdar, where the historic centre dates back to the 16th century. The Iglesia de Santiago de Galdar is considered one of the most beautiful churches in the Canary Islands and serves as a link between the Baroque style and the first examples of the neoclassic on the archipelago. As we head further east and then up into the hills towards Fergas, we pass first over an impressive viaduct and then through the magnificent Barranco Azuague. Fergas is famous for its cultural sites and for producing spring water. The celebrated Paseo de Canarias features a water cascade and 22 coats of arms, which represent all the municipalities of Gran Canaria. It also exhibits 3D maps of each of the Canary Islands. Plaza San Roque houses the church, which was constructed over the ruins of the first Hermitage built in 1502. Going further east towards Las Palmas, we find Arucas, which is famed for the church of San Juan Bautista, completely sculpted in local stone by local master stonemasons. The church dates from the year 1909 and possesses beautiful glasswork and artistic artifacts. The town also has an interesting museum and municipal park, and a number of squares. Another place worth visiting is the pretty hillside town of Terror. Amongst some of the greenest countrysides of the north, we find the majestic Caldera de Bandama, a 1 kilometre wide crater formed during the last recorded volcanic eruptions on the island some 2,000 years ago. From the viewpoint there are great views of the north coast and Las Palmas, where we shall head next. Some 350,000 people live here, and many enjoy the large city beach, Las Canteras, which has many hotels, bars and restaurants along the seafront. However, the highlight of Las Palmas is the historic Vegueta area, with its centrepiece, the twin-towered Santa Ana Cathedral, which was the first church in the Canaries. Construction started around 1500, but was not completed until almost 4 centuries later. This is reflected in its 3 different basic architectural styles: Gothic, Renaissance and Neoclassical. In the south wing is the Sacred Art Museum, exhibiting many valuable sacred artifacts and noteworthy paintings. For a few euros it is possible to get to the top via a lift, to get great views of the square and the city. Vegueta has many other well-preserved historical buildings, including Christopher Columbus's old house, now a museum. The local market has an array of colourful fruit on sale. The eating and drinking scene in this area is particularly lively and is similar to large cities on the Spanish mainland, except that it's a lot warmer here in the winter. A further 3 places worth visiting are in the mountainous central area. These are Pico de las Nieves at nearly 2,000 metres, the highest point on the island, the Roque Nublo rock formation and the pretty town of Tejeda. So to sum up, as well as the great beaches in the south, Gran Canaria has a wonderful diverse landscape to explore. It has numerous places of interest, and every visitor should make time to appreciate some of these.